Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Talking Title with Bob the Title Guy. I am your host, Bob Gladkowski, the Title Guy, and today we're going to talk about title insurance. What is title insurance? A lot of you heard the term. You go to closing, you pay for title insurance, or you receive title insurance, but you don't know exactly what it is. So, today's going to be a short video, a little longer than some of the other ones, but short nonetheless. Again, if you have questions after this video, feel free to call me, email me, or ask me in any other way you want. So here's a history. Back in the 1800s, there was no title insurance. So buyers would buy parcels of property from sellers, and basically they took the responsibility for ensuring the validity of their title. As you can imagine, most people lost everything. The property, their shirt off their back, you name it, they lost it because there just was no way to keep track of everything the correct way. About 1876, a company called the Real Estate Title Insurance Company of Fidelity came into fruition, and it was the first title company that would insure purchases of real estate or mortgages against the loss of what we call defective titles via liens, encumbrances, any other defect out there. So that's where it all started. So what is a title? So you may have bought a car or quad, snow machine, anything similar to that, and you got a physical, what they call a green title from the Secretary of State. Not the same. So a title in real estate is a collective ownership of rights for a piece of real property that includes all prior transfers, meaning we go back to the beginning of time or records, we go forward, and that is your title. So how do you transfer ownership? Well, that's easy, and you've probably heard the term deed. There's several different kinds of deeds. There's warranty deeds, quitclaim deeds, covenant deeds, so on and so forth. That is how you transfer title. It's going to be from a grantor, which is the person giving or conveying the property, to a grantee, or a person that is receiving the property. Okay? We call that, when we follow it in our title search, a deed chain or a chain of title. And that's how we figure out who owns the property, where they got it. And we also make sure to look at the deed chain to make sure it's not defective, meaning there are no grantors missing in the conveyance, prior conveyances. The legal descriptions are all correct from again, the beginning of time, if you will, going forward. So what is title insurance? So there's a title, and then there's title insurance. So a title insurance company will issue a title insurance policy. So title insurance is a policy that covers past problems after you buy the property, the real property. This is important, right? Because when you're selling a piece of property, your buyer is going to want to know that there's nobody else that owns the property. So this is a big selling point. A lot of sellers ask, why should I purchase an owner's policy for the buyer? Well, one, someone purchased it for you more than likely. When you bought the property, your seller probably paid for that owner's insurance policy. But two, it's a big selling point. You're telling that buyer in good faith that you own the property, and you're going to convey it to them free of any liens or encumbrances. Okay? So what types of policies are there? There are two main types of policies. Of course, there's residential and commercial, but the types of policies are an owner's policy, and an owner policy protects a buyer's ownership interest if a past problem comes up in our title search. Again, title is past problems. We can't predict the future. We're insuring the past to the present. Okay, so the owner policy is going to protect the new buyer and their ownership interest from a past problem. The coverage amount is typically the amount of the sales price of the property, what they're buying it for, and that policy will cover any legal fees or losses up to and including that amount. Okay. Then the other type of policy is a lender policy. If you refinance your home, you take out a mortgage, your lender is likely going to require you to purchase a lender policy. Now, they want the policy, but they make you pay for it. Okay, that's a lender's policy, and only if you're taking out a mortgage. There's no lender policy on a cash sale. There's no mortgage, right? There's no lender. So what is the cost of each of these policies and who pays the premiums? So the owner policy, we kind of touched on that. You as a seller are going to provide that to the buyer. So you're paying for that typically. You're going to pay for that owner's policy. Now, it's negotiable in your purchase agreement, but it's customary for seller to always pay that, again, as an act of good faith to the new buyer. The lender policy, if it's required, is always going to be the buyer, the borrower. Obviously, the seller isn't taking that mortgage out, so you're not going to have to pay that. So when do the policies end? I get this question quite a bit. When does the policy end? An owner's policy is going to last as long as you have an interest in the property. However, there are cases where it will cover someone who inherits your property. I won't get into that. You might want to talk to an attorney if you have a trust or wills or probates or anything like that. But that is a possibility that that coverage will extend to your heirs or anyone who inherits the property. Okay, lender's policy expires when the mortgage is paid off. That's really a concern for the lender, not you, but that's when it expires. So I hope I did answer some of your questions and educate you a little bit on what is title insurance, what's a title, what's a deed, what types of policies, so on and so forth. Again, if you have any questions, further questions, you're always more than welcome to call or text, email, whatever you need. This has been another episode of Talking Title with Bob the Title Guy. Please feel free to like and follow below. As always, you're free to share my videos at any time. Also, comment below if you have ideas for additional videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at closing.